Welcome to Chapter 4 Chemical Equations. What you will see in the next few slides is to see how can we balance a chemical equation. In example B, in your notes, it says hydrogen gas reacts with oxygen gas to form water vapor. Write the balanced chemical equation. The first step before writing the balanced chemical equation, the first step will be to write the word equation. To write the word equation, we need to see what are the reactants. So here it says hydrogen gas reacts with oxygen gas. So what we do is we will write hydrogen gas plus oxygen gas. What is that form? It says here to form water vapor. So water vapor is formed. Thus we need to write an arrow and write water vapor beside it. Now that the word equation is done, where we have hydrogen gas plus oxygen gas, arrow giving us water, we then need to write the next step, which is the chemical equation. To write the chemical equation, we simply look at the chemical formula for hydrogen, which is H2, chemical formula for oxygen, which is O2, and chemical formula for water, which is H2O. We then follow it and write it down. And you get here H2 plus O2 arrow H2O. So this would be the chemical equation. This step is very important. You must get the chemical formulas correct. If you don't get the chemical formulas correct, when you move to the next step on balancing, you will never be able to balance. Therefore, we must make sure that the chemical equation is correct before we proceed on to balancing. So now we try to balance the equation. We can use a simple working to guide us. So whatever is before the arrow, we call it the left hand side. And whatever is after the arrow, we call it the right hand side. So we write down left hand side below whatever is before the arrow, and we write down right hand side below whatever is after the arrow. Next, we need to write down what are the elements on the left. So on the left hand side, we can see that there's an element hydrogen and an element oxygen. On the right hand side, we can also see the element hydrogen, and on the right hand side, we can also see the element oxygen. So we write that down. Once we have done that, we then need to count how many hydrogen is there on the left. So on the left, we have 2 hydrogen. On the left, we then write down how many oxygen we have, which is also 2. We then proceed to count how many hydrogen is there on the right. And it shows us that there is 2. As for oxygen, it's on its own. Over here, there's no number in front or behind, so there is only 1 oxygen. The next question we'll ask ourselves is it balanced? So hydrogen 2, 2, yes, it's balanced. But oxygen has 2 on the left and 1 on the right. So oxygen is not balanced. So we need more oxygen on the right to balance it. So because of that, we look onto the right hand side, and instead of leaving it empty, we write a number 2 in front because we need more oxygen on the right. So we increase the number to number 2 first. Because now we made a change on the right hand side, we only need to count the right hand side one more time. So now we look at hydrogen. There is 2 in front of hydrogen, so 2 times 2 will give me 4. How about oxygen? Now oxygen has a 2 in front, and this 2 belongs to this oxygen as well. So there's actually 2 oxygen now. So is hydrogen balanced now? If we compare, hydrogen now is not balanced. Oxygen is balanced. So where do we need more hydrogen? On the left or on the right? If you said left, that is correct, because left has only 2 hydrogen atoms. So because of that, we will look for hydrogen on the left, and it's on this side, and we will add a number 2 in front. Don't worry, it's going to be finished. We're going to be able to balance the chemical equation very soon. With this new equation, since we did not change anything on the right hand side, we can leave the numbers as 4 hydrogen atoms and 2 oxygen atoms. And on the left hand side, the only thing we made a change was for the hydrogen. So we can look at the hydrogen and we can count how many there are. So 2 times 2 will give you 4. So when we compare, hydrogen has 4 on the left and 4 on the right. Is it balanced? Yes, so we put it. Oxygen, there is 2 on the left and 2 on the right. Is it balanced? Yes. Thus, this will be your balanced chemical equation. It takes a while to do because it's your first few times that you're learning how to do this. But the more you practice, you will find that this is manageable. You can actually feel that this could be even easy. So don't give up and persevere. What you need is resilience, and you will be able to write all the balanced chemical equation that is necessary. Hope you enjoyed learning. See you next time.